Los Angeles Echo Park is a popular place these days, maybe too popular. The city is trying to deal with a conflict between vendors who come there and sell their merchandise and other people who go there to enjoy the park's recreation. Alexis Lipnicki has the story.
It may not look like it, but there's a battle being waged over this park. On Sundays, Echo Park Lake's grasslands turn into a makeshift swap meet where people can buy and sell goods for low prices. Vendors simply lay out tarps showcasing their wares, often including used clothing, shoes, DVDs, and electronics. But not everyone is happy they're here.
It's important to me as somebody who's lived in this neighborhood and who has really fought to keep this park safe and clean and a safe place for families that we continue that and people get to use it.
This Sunday morning was not a typical one for the park. At 11, people played, walked, talked, and ate, but there were no vendors in sight. Meanwhile, a General Services police sergeant patrolled the park. Sergeant Tafoya says his presence scared vendors enough not to set up shop in the park, as well as the representatives from the City Council President's office and City Attorney's office who stopped by to do a walkthrough of the troubled park. But that lasted only about 3 hours. Once vendors hiding on the outskirts of the park saw the officials leaving, they made their move. Vendor Pilar Garcia was laid off 5 months ago and says she sells in the park as a means of supporting her children. What can you do? We come to the park to survive. We don't do drugs or do anything bad. Officials say vendors violating city municipal code are facing increased fines and could even get jail time for receiving multiple citations. Los Angeles Assistant City Attorney David Berger says he came to the park to assess the situation.
We're sensitive to the fact that these are very difficult economic times, which is probably what's driving most of this activity. But the bottom line is, this park is for everyone.
Berger adds that the city does not want to needlessly throw vendors in jail, and they are looking at other options like hosting the open market in a place where it would be both legal and safe. In Echo Park Lake, I'm Alexis Lipnicki for Valley View News.
Coming up after the break, we'll tell you why Michael Jackson's father is going to court over the superstar's will. And snowboarding is going to the dogs. You'll want to see it.
Now Shayla Silva tells us what's new with comedian Cat Williams, and are Janet Jackson and Jermaine Dupri still together? Here's entertainment. Shayla?
Thank you, Kristen. Michael Jackson's father, Joe Jackson, is now asking the court for money from his son's estate. What a surprise. The superstar left his estate to his mother, Katherine Jackson, his 3 children, and unknown charities. Joe Jackson wasn't included in the pop star's will. Michael's mom and children received more than $86,000 a month. That's a lot of money. It has not been reported how much money Joe Jackson is asking for. Michael Jackson died June 25th after collapsing in his Los Angeles home. Now, are they or aren't they? Their relationship seems to be like a seesaw, but People magazine confirms that Janet Jackson and Jermaine Dupri are indeed together. The couple reportedly broke up around the time of Michael Jackson's death. But sources say Dupri wanted to give Jackson space during her brother's death. The two aren't married, but there's word that there may be planning a wedding. Dupri doesn't deny the reports. Comedian Cat Williams has been arrested in Georgia for allegedly breaking into someone's house. The homeowner called police and told them Williams took items from her home. His first court appearance determined whether or not he's eligible for bond. Williams is known for his stand-ups and occasional movie roles. A Venezuelan teen soap opera is sweeping through the U.S., gathering new fans. The telenovela Isa TKM recently started broadcasting on MTV3. During the first 5 weeks of U.S. showings, it ranked second among Spanish-speaking young women. The Disney Channel still ranks #1. Many bloggers and fans say Isa TKM has been called the Latino version of Disney's High School Musical. It is unclear whether or not MTV will continue to air the show, but is happy with its success so far. R&B singer Rihanna gave graphic details of Chris Brown's assault in an interview on ABC 2020. She told Diane Sawyer she and Brown bickered after he received a text message from another woman. Rihanna says the argument escalated and Brown became violent and beat her. Rihanna also says all she could think about was how long the beating would last. She said she recalls having a bloody and swollen face. Rihanna says her next choice was to get out of the car and walk away. She says she still cares about Brown even though the two are no longer together and wants him to have a great life and learn from his experience. Television cooking celebrity Rachel Ray is helping in Ohio's town that's been battered by the economy. Ray brought new appliances, shelves, and furniture to a soup kitchen in the town of Wilmington. She hosted an early Thanksgiving feast for the community. The town is trying to recover from the loss of DHL Express and other businesses at the Wilmington's Air Park that's resulted in a 15% local unemployment rate. Ray's show will supply food for the soup kitchen next year. The kitchen's improvements and its Thanksgiving dinner will be featured on her show. And that's it for the entertainment world. Now it's back to you, Joyce.
A dog rescue group in Los Angeles has gotten creative with its adoptions. Tiara Nowlin reports on how the event focuses on finding these dogs a loving home.
It was all about dogs here at Much Love Rescue Group's yearly event. Bow Woween promotes awareness of abandoned canines in need of homes and the benefits of adopting.
By rescuing, you're helping the overpopulation pet problem. You're finding awesome animals that need a forever home. It saves you money. It's usually, between $20 and $200 to rescue or adopt an animal, and you're really making sure you're getting them from a good place.
From dog owners supporting Much Love to potential adopters, the event was full of activities. The highlight, a canine costume contest. Showing off in front of the crowd, some brought out their personalities and talents.
There she goes.
Like Binky here, the cat undertaker. Others decided to soak in the attention. Some owners like Tracy Landau made dressing up a family affair.
I just went shopping for costumes and we couldn't decide on should it be the pumpkins or the chickens or the lobsters, and the lobsters won.
But adopting out their dogs was the focus of Much Love's event. Supporter Cheryl Smith says Much Love is important because it gives these pets a second chance.
There's so many, dogs that need homes, and for so many different reasons, people lose their homes or for whatever reason it is, and there's dogs, otherwise they get they get sent to the shelters, and it's just a horrible place for a pet to go.
Much Love does not have a facility to store their rescued dogs right now, so they rely mostly on foster care. If you're interested in adopting or fostering a dog, like this one, Boo, you can go to www.muchlove.org. In Topanga, I'm Tiara Nowlin for Valley View News.
Snowboarders are gearing up for snowboarding season, and some didn't even have to leave the valley. As Matt Johnson reports, they didn't even have to be human.
Bulldogs from all over Southern California are hitting the slope, auditioning for a chance to get on a Rose Parade float. Tillman, the world's fastest skateboarding dog, and two other pros, Rose and Lyle, are already slated to glide down the float in January. Dozens of amateur bulldogs lined up, hoping to share the stage with their idols. Joey Herrick is the president of Natural Balance and says people just can't get enough of these pooches.
And this is just a great, fun project for us to do that has a lot of interest. We actually last year received over 2 billion impressions. So it's a lot of interest in snowboarding or skateboarding bulldogs.
Herrick says the 112-foot float will be the longest in the world when it debuts during the Rose Parade. Megan Van Tile and her mother Jill brought Cheeseburger to the audition and couldn't wait to show off their dog's new trick.
Last night we actually took him to the park and put him on a hill and just pulled him down the hill. So it was literally about 3 days that he learned to do this skimboard trick. But he's always liked skateboards and surfboards and soccer balls and frisbees. He gets real obsessive with his toys.
Now there's only 2 spots available to get on the float with Tillman, Rose, and Lyle. But dogs like Cheeseburger here are just trying to get a chance to hop on board. In Pacoima, I'm Matt Johnson for Valley View News.
Thank you for watching Valley View News. On behalf of Matt Johnson and Shayla Silva, I'm Kristen Ferrier.
And I'm Joyce Ajuri. Have a great afternoon.